Welcome back to Mount Celeste. I'm dear darling, and we'll face our inner demons, and we just summit together as we hop back into Farewell. We're nearly on 10,000 deaths now, which I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing particularly, but here we are. What are we doing? Oh, I vaguely remember this. This is that's not how you do that at all. This is like there's springboards or something, right? Yeah, that's right. I don't remember if we actually needed to do the wave dash. I have a distinct memory that we didn't need to. I don't quite remember if I recall what we do here though. Oh, I remember. We do like a circle or something, right? We circle around and then that's what we can do to buy enough time so we can grab onto the wall again or something. It's coming back to me. It's coming back to me. You know, it's always a bit of a warm-up period when you play these sort of games. You got to get back into the jive, back into the groove, and you know, I'm not the best dancer, so that's not how you do it. Apparently I need more practice with Golden Feather, but apparently I need more practice with dashing, which is, you know, you would have thought wouldn't be the case with here Celeste. What? Is that even a valid sentence? Wouldn't be the case here with Celeste, is what I meant to say. But here I am. Once again, I'm torn into pieces. Remember that, what's that, Kelly Clarkson, I think? Behind those hazel eyes. No. It's alright. If I recall, we did pretty well at this, and at the end of last episode, we'll probably get this done relatively quickly. She said sealing her fate. Let's not jinx it, I suppose, before we've really got the gist of it to prove it, you know. So, but there's probably a better way than doing a loop at the end there. But it's what I recall doing, and if that's what I settled on, then well, it may not necessarily be the best way to do it, but it is a way to do it. And a way is better than, well, a way is much more important than necessarily the best way. So we go like that, and we go like this. Oh, I forgot, you had to go down and loop round. I remember, we got to that point and we didn't realise it. Okay, yeah, I know what's been going on. Olympics is over now, as the time of recording with Celeste. Well, actually, I think it was over a while ago. I don't really recall, to be honest. I didn't watch the closing ceremony. You might be like, why didn't you watch the closing ceremony? Well, to be fair, I didn't even watch the opening ceremony, so much of that. Oh my gosh. I don't know how good the opening ceremony was. It was supposedly a lot more disappointing than it could have been because, obviously, a lot of people are opposed to the Olympics going on right now because of the whole, you know, world situation. Understandably so. So, a lot of sponsors, I believe, pulled out the Olympics, which is fair enough, you know. Probably don't want to really be associated with that if that's not something that is particularly in public favour right now. But, yeah, it went underway. Anyway, who knows what the repercussions of that is going to be. But, you know, I suppose for my Lonely Pedestal, Lonely Island here in UK, and I don't mean the band, I'm not going to feel the effects of it for a while at least. But yeah, hopefully the closing ceremony went well without a stitch. Congratulations to all those athletes, who probably don't need my congratulations for winning because they don't even know who I am, which is kind of fair enough. But yeah, I didn't watch a closing ceremony, I haven't really heard anything about it. That's not how I do this one, normally. But, you know, if it works, it works. I haven't heard like any memes or stuff about it, which is normally how I get, not my news, but like how you know something big happened within that sort of sphere, you know? It's just like the Super Bowl with Katy Perry back in 2016 with Left Shark, you know? Didn't hear about it. I remember we need to grab onto that and it falls down and we had to go up the like chimney it leaves behind. We probably need to do a bit of a loop there. Well, actually, I don't know if we need to do a loop there, but we can find out just by, you know, making it there again in the first place. But yeah, no, it's like how I found out about Left Shark and Katy Perry at the Super Bowl. Excuse me, my throat feels terrible today. I mean, I imagine that's how many like European people probably find about Super Bowl. American football's unsurprisingly not very popular apart from anywhere in America, I suppose. Maybe Canada likes it as well. Perhaps I should just say North America in general. So we don't need to do a loop. In fact, we don't even have enough time to do a loop there. But yeah, American football not particularly popular. Never watched a football game. Don't really know the rules of American football, to be honest. I know you're just meant to like advance down the line, and well, apparently it's not very similar to rugby, despite the fact that they both look like they both use that rugby ball shape, and there's a lot of physical contact, I suppose. But oh my word, The rules are very different, and I don't know. By all means, by the way, if you like American football, continue liking it. And my opinion should probably not sway your own opinion on it. Really, I haven't literally have seen nothing of American football. I know some random American football teams. There's the Packers. There's the maybe I don't. Cowboys? The Dallas Cowboys. That seems familiar. Cleveland Browns. Because, I don't know, apparently they're bad or something. Are they actually bad? Who knows? This is the view on a sport from someone who doesn't know the sport. And as far as I can discern for what rules of American football are, is you need to basically slowly advance the ball up the pitch or something to get a touchdown, right? You know, I mean, I guess it's similar to tries and all that in rugby here in the UK. Oh, well, many other countries. Well, not the same, because I guess Australia's got their own Australian rugby, right, which is kind of different. Or Australian football is called, isn't it? Which I also don't know rules of, but still. I mean, I barely know the rules of rugby. I just know you can't pass backwards. You get a try and then you can get a conversion or something. There's also like 2 different types of rugby. There's like rugby union and rugby league. What's the difference? I don't know. You get scrums, you get rucks. Whether one of them's only in 7 sides, one is in 11 side, 15 side? How many's in a normal rugby team? I don't even know. You might say, didn't you play rugby back in school a bit? I did, I just don't really remember it, to be honest. It's all a very sort of hazy memory. We only played really tag rugby for the majority of it until we got much older, and then we played sort of rugby. But we didn't play with like the conversion posts or anything. It was just who could get the try. At least that's what happened in our PE lessons, and that's what I remember. God, my voice sounds... Oh, I accidentally just hit the Windows button there. My voice sounds terrible. Does it sound gravelly to you? It feels gravelly to me. So you do like vocal warm-up exercises or something. It was like the siren call one. Which goes like... or something. I don't know, it's been a while. Okay, hold on. Too far. We need to... Perhaps we do a bigger swoop underneath to try and launch ourselves horizontally across into... That's not going to make it. Probably a lot easier if we just wave dash along here, right? Certainly a lot easier than trying to make the jump work every single time, but, you know, I'm not particularly stubborn, but apparently I was stubborn in that aspect. Try to... resistant to change. Stick to the stuff you know. Whoa. I don't know how High School Musical keeps coming up. Actually, annoyingly, I killed myself there with a dash. I probably would have made it if I didn't dash. Whee! The fact we even made it, that's astonishing. Yeah, okay, hold on. American football. You got a load of different positions. You got quarterbacks, linebackers. What do they do? I don't know. You have... I don't know, just a load of burly guys in padded sportswear and helmets, just like sort of running into each other. I don't mean that in a disparaging way. I mean that in more like my own ignorance. That way, I have no idea what goes on in American football. Hike. You know, when I was younger, I used to actually get rugby confused with American football because my parents are, you know, in China. Neither American football nor rugby are particularly popular. So I used to get them... I wonder why there's a gap underneath there. Do you think it's a speedrunning tactic to go take the lower path or something? Probably. I used to get like American football and rugby confused because I thought touchdowns were also a thing in rugby. Because my exposure to them were only through media. Like back in primary school we didn't really play rugby, or at least if we did, we didn't, like, the teachers never really explained the rules to us. Which, to be fair, maybe they don't even know what the rules were. Which is understandable because, like, I don't know. As I often say, primary school teachers have to, I suppose, can't really be expected to know absolutely everything. I suppose it would be good if they, like, knew little bits on about lots of different things, but, you know, that's a bit asking quite a lot for the number of teachers we need in life. Yeah, what was I saying? I don't remember. Yeah, so I used to... Oh no, that was it. I used to get American football confused with rugby, and then there was one like lesson. I don't even know what lesson it was, or what subject it was, but we were in the computer room, I remember, and we had to basically research stuff about rugby. And I thought I knew about rugby, so I just like, oh yeah, isn't that the one where you get like touchdowns and that sort of thing? And I was just working with we worked in pairs, and except for the person I was working with, apparently he either didn't know much about rugby or something, or he never bothered to try correct me. So we ended up just like researching about American football, and then the teacher came round and understandably was very confused with the information we got, and then she decided to like, you know, take over a little bit and do a little bit of research with us on the old Google, so we could exactly find out what was going on, or find out what we were doing. And apparently through that day we discovered there were 2 different types of rugby, or she did as well. And I remember she talked about this in the class the next day, and she was like, we actually discovered there are multiple different types of rugby, aren't there? And then she looked at me, aren't there, dear? And then I looked at her because I completely did not understand what she was doing when she like took over. Hold on, does this story make sense? The story might not make sense. When she like took over the research for us by researching with us, she was like googling stuff and that sort of thing and read things out, and she was like, oh, interesting. And I was just like, oh yeah, interesting, but I didn't understand what was going on. So I fully didn't comprehend any of the information she sought out, including the discovery that there's 2 different like types of rugby or something, rugby union and rugby league. But for some reason those names live on in my head. I don't know how we managed that. We need to figure out what we're doing, alright? At that part, we need to figure out the timing. So she was just like, didn't we found out there were 2 different types of rugby? And I was like, didn't we, dear? And other classmate at the time, and I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about, lady. And to this day, still don't really know. Never bothered to look it up. I don't know how I played it off. That's where the memory stops. I can't remember any more of that fateful day, but you know, just thought I'd let you know. There's probably 2 types of rugby, unless I remembered wrong. And to be fair, I was, let me think. I was 9, maybe, so cut me a little bit slack. No, probably 10 now I think about it. 9 or 10, I don't know. At that point, what's even the difference? It reminds me of another IT lesson we had, which was about Google searching. Why do I just stop? I'm trying to delay time, but I'm delaying too much time. There was another like lesson we had about Google searching where we were taught about like different Google function things you can do, like you can use quotation marks to search only for certain phrases, and you can use like the plus button to... Why did I do that? The plus button for like words that must be included in the search results and that sort of thing. And this, you might wonder why I'm going with this story. It's actually quite a fun story, where basically the ultimate test that we had to try and see if we learned like how to like search better using Google, which honestly, now I reflect back on it, that's actually a pretty cool lesson to have for an IT lesson, and actually very useful. I remembered a lot of those lessons from like from that day onwards, I suppose. Oh my word. What was I saying? Yeah, to test to see if we really learnt the information. She set like a challenge for the entire class, and this was a different teacher, I'm pretty sure, by the way. Oh my word. I didn't delay enough time there, ironically. And the goal was basically try and Google search so specifically that you find as few search results as possible, but at least one of the search results need to be relevant to what you search. And you know, me being the competitive overachiever I was back then, saw that as a challenge for the entire, like it was a challenge for the entire class. A winner would get nothing except for, I suppose, like vocal recognition. I saw that as a challenge, being like, it's got to be me. I've got to find that sacred result, which only gets one result. And unsurprisingly, in the end of a story, because villains always win apparently. I don't know why I'm portraying myself as a villain. I'm not really a villain. I was just a child. Let's be honest. I did win. It was in this competition with this other girl, and she got like a result which only got 5 Google search, like 5 hit results, I suppose. And then I found one which got 1 hit result, except for the one thing, the one website it linked to was not a relevant website, if I recall. It might have been some just like, I don't know, media share website, so I don't know how I got past the school filter, but oh, finally. Sorry, I actually had to concentrate there. Oh, I forgot about these things. You just like bounce on them? You bounce on them, they disappear, right? They reset your dash. This is so long. Okay, well, this is definitely a test of endurance, I suppose. It's not how you do that. But they reset your dash, right? They do. No, it's not how you do that. Just got to get the timing down. And, you know, I was like, oh no. My one's got only one false result. Can't have that, you know? Otherwise, I won't win. So I had to win. And then within, like, the last minute of a lesson, I found a combination that got me a search result with only 3 things, and one of them was relevant because one of them was an educational site from what I recall. This is going to be really difficult. I'm telling you this right now. In case you're expecting this to not be difficult for some unfathomable reason, this is going to be difficult. And you might say, do you remember what that search result was? No, not exactly. I remember it was something to do with Roman boats. It must have been a history lesson or something. Maybe that's why. It was like a tied in together history plus IT lesson. Learning about how to search better. And it was something about historical Roman boats, I think. Oh, I missed a thing. Couldn't figure out what I was doing. Probably could have saved it, but I didn't. That was a bit of a close one. Oh. See, we're going to have to bounce one of them into the fire as well at some point, so we can't use up all of them. We only got finitely so many of these ice crystal things up there. Yeah, it was something about Roman boats, and I remember the website it was on was always that website we used to, like, use as our facts for the Roman history course in our lessons back then. So anytime we had to do, like, a piece of writing about it, everyone would just copy paste, like, different passages from that website. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Okay, savable. No. And you might say in retrospect, hey, isn't that challenge super easy to win? All you had to do is just find, like, a single sentence on, like, an educational or relevant site and then just Google that exact phrase. And yeah, you know, that would be how you would do it if you know you weren't, like, 9 years old and you had to Google. Only learn how to use those Google search terms for the first time. Of course, it's a lot easier to come up with better solutions when you're considerably older. This is so tedious. This is not executing something. I mean, it is about executing something mechanically, but it's more about being able to react to how you do something. Oh, I want to do that left one first and then go on the right one because it's a little bit easier to somehow end up at the top for me. What am I doing? So yeah, I mean, that's how I learned how to use Google search properly. You know, you can use quotation marks to find specific phrases, plus and minus before and after, not afterwards, just before the words to make sure that your results definitely include this word. Let's concentrate. Damn. But I made it. It's not actually going to be all that bad. It's just sort of like getting used to bouncing on these things again, which is definitely the biggest pain. Oh, okay. That's not what I meant to do. No. Accidentally used up too many, but we've only got finitely many resources like we do on planet Earth, so you've got to use them wisely. Okay. Wasn't quite how I intended to do it, but that was how I ended up doing it. Now I think about it, we also got to have enough of these bouncy things to Wait, what did we get the the middle right one first. We got to have enough of a bouncy things to wait for the lock to come down, don't we? I don't know if it's better if we get this middle right one first, but we are like right here, so why don't we, I suppose? Is the better question. Oh gosh. Just dash straight into it. I didn't mean to dash that way, I actually meant to dash vertically upwards. I'm sorry, it's hard to banter over this one. This one's actually quite hard. It requires so much focus. And to be fair, that's probably like one of the only useful things we learned during our IT primary school lessons. Like in one of them we learned how to use Word or something. I think I talked about this before. We had to like write our names, and then like the challenge was you had to write your name in a different colour, you had to change the text size or whatever. And you had to do it in like in italics. Oh, actually, hold on, I'll get into that one afterwards. Oh, come on. It doesn't help I keep dashing not in the direction I want to. I think I told the story, it's not even interesting. It happened, like, I did it with a friend, and then we wrote it alternating our names, and it turns out the teacher came around and she meant for us to write, or one of us do the task, and then the other one do the task. Like, there's no conclusion to that. It's just one of those random memories that stick in your mind, that have, like, no relevance whatsoever. It's not even, like, a formative part of my life or anything. It didn't, like, teach me a lesson, and there's nothing to really be gained from it. It's just in my brain for some reason, for no apparent reason. Maybe my brain like to kept it framed on the wall or something, like you might keep a child's drawing on your fridge. Oh my gosh, I dashed the wrong way. That was meant to be a diagonal dash, and alas, it was a vertical dash. That would have had it. Oh yeah, I didn't reset my dash. Okay, fair enough. No, there was actually this really cool lesson we had in the... Now I think about it, probably wasn't for IT class, it was probably for art class. Where basically we had to recreate paintings in Paint. Or MS Paint at the time, maybe it wasn't called MS Paint, I think it was. Whatever our equivalent for MS Paint we had at the school was. It's just... it was super cool, and I remember doing it, and... except for the teacher didn't really teach us about how saving files and stuff worked in MS Paint. So I remember I was recreating this really like pretty underwater scene with like turtles in it because I really love turtles. I don't know where I found it. I think I just searched like turtle painting and I just chose the first one. And I remember I started on the background. Obviously there's no layers in MS Paint, so for some reason I had the foresight to work back to front in it. Hold on, let's delay time now. No, I keep dashing the wrong way. I had a foresight to work back to front, and then the first lesson, or first few lessons, I made like some really nice drawings of the sea creatures in the background. I remember being able to draw this dolphin really well. And mind you, this was in MS Paint still. And you know, maybe I'm just like hyping myself up from what I remember. I remember it being really good. I remember I was really proud of it. And then I remember exactly what happened, but basically my work got deleted and I lost all my work because the teacher didn't tell us that we should probably save multiple copies of our work. So like at the end of each lesson we'd save a different version of it. I just kept saving over the same one over and over again because, you know, that's what I was just doing, which is, you know, fair enough in its own right. But the problem is, I remember distinctly what happened that led to the deletion, which I didn't really comprehend until like a couple of years afterwards. Was I opened up my file at the start of one of the lessons, and then one of my friends next to me was like, "Oh, cool! Look at this. There's a symmetry mode in MS Paint," and there indeed was. You could get some lines of symmetry and mirror mode out, and if you click on them, it would bring out these lines and then like mirror whatever you're drawing, or if you did it like a four-way mirror, do it 4 ways, and it was super cool. I was like, "Oh, cool! I want to try." So I looked at it, and then, you know, clicked on it and messed around for a bit, and then I remember closing it and then it being like, "Oh, do you want to save your work?" And I said yes, and that saved over my dolphin work, because as it turned out I opened my artwork to begin with and then didn't realise I didn't close it again to do the mirror thing. Oh no! I didn't close it again when I wanted to experiment with this weird mirror tool that they got going on, and thus overwrote all my work, or overdrew all my work. So there's a lesson I learned very early on to always have backups of any sort of work you do, and thus always have, and back things up. Maybe not multiple times, but, you know, been careful not to overwrite things like that. But the teacher was very nice. She was just like, oh, you know, it happens. I mean, our next task was to, like, recreate... It's to follow along with, like, an art tutorial, like Bob Ross style, not actually Bob Ross though, about this drawing of these 3 bell peppers, and she allowed me to use a big, like, interactive smart whiteboard in that room because of my stuff got deleted, and I must have looked like a fool because at the time it was super cool, like, you know, people were very envious, I'm sure, but at the time I must have looked like a fool because, you know, it's rather big even for like a, how old was I? Probably 10-year-old like me. So, and I was clambering upon like the table on the chest of drawers. Oh my word. Next to it to make sure I can get like a good angle and that sort of thing. It must have looked like a fool, but there you go. Actually, now I think about it, I have so many random memories of this like primary school IT lesson. Not IT lesson, but the IT classroom. I don't know why, but oh, we've got to get that thing. I don't know why they're here, because most of them aren't even IT lessons. Now I think about it. I have this another one, but I remember. I can't remember what task we were doing. I think it must have been near the end of... Yeah, no, it can't have been year 6. It must have been year 3. Because it was a year 3 teacher I'm thinking of. Who was there? Oh. No. That one we just bad timing. Used up too many of the early ones, which made it rather difficult to hop up. Maybe I should go right to left, because while it might be easy to get onto the left one, it's a bit harder to go from the right one upwards. Oh my gosh, it's a bit hard to go from the right one upwards to the fireballs. Don't actually know if it's actually harder, it just feels that way. No. It's got to commit to it. Okay, maybe I should do it from the left one, you know? Don't fix what isn't broken, as they often say. Except for they say it more like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Oh yeah, sorry. This random other anecdote. I don't remember what we were doing. I feel like for some reason we were making a PowerPoint presentation. I don't recall what for. Oh my! I don't know why I dashed that way. I think that was meant to be a diagonal dash, but the wires got crossed my brain. We're making a PowerPoint presentation, but for some reason, like every minute or so, she would call up like one of us to go like take a picture of her or like these props on the ground. Maybe we were making like a scrapbook or something with each person, like for our class. So she needed a picture of each of us, and she gave us like a load of props to like do a picture with. And I remember those things like there was like fancy hats, there was like glasses, like it was big glasses. I think it was maybe not a gun, but there was something football related, but I don't remember what. Sorry. I got very distracted. Yeah, there are a load of different props, and everyone, like, they take a picture and she'd ask what you want your name to be, or maybe she'd write a name for you, that sort of thing. And a lot of them, some people like pick up one of the microphones, and it'd be like, oh, like, you know, Catherine the pop star, and then some of the people like picked up the football one, and were just like Mark the footballer. I don't know. These are not their actual names. I don't even know what to do here. What the heck? And then some people like post by the computer and they're like, blah, the whiz kid or something. I remember what I did. For some unfathomable reason, I saw the 2 microphones on the ground. They were like really big, these plastic toy microphones, and I just put them to my head and posed like an alien or something. There I was, Dear the Alien, in that sort of scrapbook. Got a good laugh out of everyone. Don't know how I thought of it, but it's unbounded creativity. And for some reason, that was an IT lesson. Wow, this is a really long level. Okay, let's work out what we need to do to even get to this first thing in the first place. Okay, wind's against us. Is this just continuous wave dashing? Oh my gosh, this might be continuous wave dashing, hit the springboard, get the thing, dash upwards. Oh, it's going to be a pain. Oh, it's actually not much of a pain. Just, oh my gosh. No, that was actually pretty good, babe. I must be doing it too late on that one. So I'm not getting about. Oh my gosh, it's been half an hour. I feel like I haven't talked about anything. There's more IT lessons to talk about. There's not actually. I think that's all of them. I don't know why I remember that one so well. I just remember that picture of me like looking. Oh well, I think we're dead now. Looking like an alien with the two microphones, and everyone being like, oh, ha 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 ha. Because I remember thinking during the class being like, oh, look at everyone else with their boring like pop star titles or like computer kid or footballer. Something. I was like, you know what? They ain't seen nothing yet, and then you know it came up, deviating. Everyone had a wild time cracking up at it. So many random primes glad it is. Anyway, should probably round this episode up for now because we're certainly not going to get this done within like -1 minute. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Celeste. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares greatly appreciated. Join me Dear Darling Discord. Follow me on Twitter down below. Hope we can see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.